look, man, I mean, did they think that one Puerto Rican's vote was going to be flipped because of a joke that Tony made?
By the way, Puerto Ricans are known for being great insult comics.
Yeah.
Like Luis Gomez, great insult comic.
Yep.
The fucking Freddie Prinze Jr. was a great comic. Puerto Rico has a history of great comedy. They can talk some shit. If you grew up in New York at all, you know, Puerto Ricans can
100%.
talk a lot of shit.
Lewis is one of the best shit talkers I've ever met. Also, garbage.
But it's
so
also,
Tony had a point.
Like Italians. And I'm Italian. Italians and Puerto Ricans have a lot in common, that we talk a lot of shit to each other, so we don't get insulted that much by jokes. It's not the same thing.
Right.
Like, it's very hard to insult an Italian and have it stick.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You can call him a Guido. Like, yeah, I'm a Guido. You can call him a greaseball. No one cares. You know what? Go back to your country. No one's been there in fucking generations.
It's also, my wife is Italian, and all my in-laws, her whole family is Italian. And it is like, when you have a dinner, it's just everyone yells.
They're animals.
Like, everything's a yell.
They're the Romans.
Like, I'll literally, my brother-in-law, who I love, is a great guy, super smart, but he will, if he's agreeing with you in a conversation and you were like in the next room, you would be like, is they about to fight his brother-in-law? Like, what's going on in there? No, he's just agreeing with what I'm saying, but he's screaming it at me, you know? But it is a thing where they're very thick-skinned. They're not like fragile people. It's one of my favorite things about them. Puerto Ricans are
some of
the same
best
way.
Also, look at Puerto Rico. Some of the best boxers of all time came out of Puerto Rico. It's one fucking island. You got Felix Trinidad, you got Gomez, Wilfredo Gomez, you got incredible fighters came out of this one place. You have a fucking tough population, man.
Yeah.
It's not I mean, I'm sure there was a few people that were pissed off at that joke, but the reality is one of the things that helped Tony is that joke was based about Tony's concern for the environment. Tony is obsessed with recycling. He's like, recycling's bullshit. It all goes in a landfill. I'm going to put it in the blue bin. It all goes in the landfill. So Tony was obsessed with the Pacific garbage patch, and then he got obsessed with Puerto Rico because they don't have any room. So their landfills are just overflowing with garbage. They literally have a giant garbage problem. So he came up with a joke based around that. I think it's called Puerto Rico. I
was texting with him after it, and I thought it was so great. I mean, I thought even the bit that he did on Israel Palestine was so funny. He ripped both sides, and then he did. By the way, same with the Puerto Rico thing. There was an underlying really good point to it, which is always like the best comedy when you're just being funny, but at the same time you're like, and he did kind of nail that too, where he was just like, why are we funding wars that have been going on forever? Like, figure it out, guys. And then he just got a great rip on Muslims, a great rip on Jews, and so the way they picked out Puerto Ricans.
He's going on in the morning. There's no opening act. No one knows there's going to be comedy.
Yeah, the most difficult setup.
And there's no one on before him other than a prayer. They do a prayer. They were singing prayers and songs. And then the music stops, and Tony goes on flat to a bunch of people in the middle of the day.
Well, yeah,
the lights are on bright. It makes no sense. It's the worst setup of all time for comedy.
I remember in real time when I was watching it, like being like, I was like, well, I mean, Tony's not going to be able to do Tony in this setup. So like, I wonder what he's going to do. And then like, as it starts, you're like, oh, he's just going to do Tony.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, dude.
It's crazy.
Good for him.
It's the
that's
nuttiest
ballsy
thing. Should have never done it. But the fact that he did it, whatever. It's like, listen, man, there's going to be some people that tried to capitalize on that. And that was a big thing. Like AOC really mobilized, which is funny because I'm almost certain that AOC's been to see Kill Tony.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, almost certain. Almost certain.
Wait, here at the mothership?
I don't think so here. But somewhere saw Kill Tony.
She probably loves it. They're all so funny.
I wonder who. Let's call him up.
All right. Let's get to the bottom of it. Wait, we have access.
Call Tony Hinchcliffe. Hey, dude, you're live on the air right now with Dave Smith. I need to answer a question. I need a question answered. Did AOC ever come to see Kill Tony?
She says that she did, but we're almost positive that she didn't. I never met her in any of the shows in LA. I mean, she could have conceivably have bought a ticket to Madison Square Garden, but she never posted about it.
Well, she probably wouldn't post about it. It's too sketchy. Your show's sketchy. Yeah. But so how do you know that she says that she was there?
She tweeted that she's been to a taping. when all that stuff went down, she said that she's disappointed in me and she's been to a taping. I can't remember the exact tweet right now, but it was the day of the Madison Square Garden Trump thing. She posted, "I'm really disappointed in Tony Hinchcliffe. I'm a fan of Kill Tony and have been to a taping." Something like that. I don't want to misquote her, like she would certainly do to me.
But she's been there and she was surprised? It makes no sense.
Yeah. No, nothing these people fucking say make any sense. They're out of their goddamn minds. And now their voices are quieted, thank God.
Tony, America's back, baby. America's back!
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. I gotta go, brother. I love you.
Rock and roll. Bye-bye.
Nobody who's ever been to Kill Tony would be disappointed.
It didn't matter.
And
It
doesn't
was
make
a
any
political
sense.
tool.
Of course.
It's like if
Of
you
course.
you have a wrench, here's a bolt, I need to use the wrench. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like, so AOC was telling people, send it out in all your group chats, let people know. It's not, they're not,
But you can't-
they're not the most sensitive people. They're like resilient people. They're not going to, people are going to get upset about a joke, but they're also going to understand it's just a fucking joke. And then when they know, and then if someone does tell them, oh, Puerto Rico really does have a giant garbage problem. Like, it's a giant problem. The overflowing land. You ever see it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. Look at the images. You're like, oh my God, you got to do something about this. You can't cover your island in garbage. This is nuts.
Yeah, look, it's I just like I was saying before though, man, I feel like if you zoom out, like if you look at it closely, you would be like you said with the
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she said
Yeah.
she's been to more
She's been to
than one.
shows.
Yeah.
Wow. Before people try to act like this is some PC overly sensitive nonsense, which is what it is. I've been to Kill Tony shows. I'm from the Bronx. I don't give a shit about crude humor. Then what are you doing?
Well,
Then what are you doing?
clearly
Don't pretend
you do.
that your support for Trump is a joke. Own it. You're doing a set to support him. That's a choice. Listen, you guys have a real problem with someone disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
And you want to, in any way, shape, or form that's possible, turn that person into a demon. You never want to have someone who has an opposing perspective that should be considered or maybe countered with better information, which is what we're all supposed to be doing. Ideally, with people of good character and who go into arguments with good faith, you should be able to respectfully disagree and have conversations with things. This is like everybody who thinks one way is bad. Everybody who thinks this way is good. We'll do whatever we can to destroy the people that are that way. Obama, there was a guy at the Trump rally that said that Puerto Rico is a pile of garbage. Those are human beings. Like, was that?
on,
Hey,
dude.
was that guy maybe telling a joke?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Is he telling a joke?
Well,
Do you know what jokes are? You're my age. You know what jokes are? What are we doing?
Come on.
Come on.